Resist. Resist by maintaining sovereignty of the self. Resist by maintaining love of the self. Resist by maintaining fierce loyalty to love and pleasure. Resist with acts of radical kindness. Focus on the path to better times.
All right, hey, what's up? This is Luxa. It is 7:00 p.m. on the 27th of July, 2021, and I'm here for another installment of Astral Temple Experiments. And today I am joined with a new group. What's up, guys? How's it going? Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hey, I'm Joy.
I'm Shane.
This is Josh.
Okay, hell yeah. So you guys have been doing the same Astral Temple experiments that we've been talking about before on this series. How are you guys finding it so far?
It's been pretty interesting. I think, we've had some kind of moments where things were, parts of it were coming through, but nothing I would call an exact match just yet.
Yeah, I feel like we've had a lot of morphological similarities, as like people getting correspondences in shapes of the objects that they leave and find. That seems to have happened a couple of times. But yeah, like Shane said, we haven't hit any nails on the heads quite yet.
The first thing I left for Josh was a kettlebell, and he found a marble bust of a head, so it was similar in weight and shape. I think that was a pretty close one.
Interesting.
And what I left for Joy last week, it seemed like I left her a crystal ball, and what she found caused a bit of introspection. So maybe like what was meant to happen with the gift happened, even though it appeared as something else.
Cool.
Yeah, I think there's some interesting correlations. But I'm privy as the moderator this week to say I think there's some interesting synchronicities this week, a little more so than the other, I don't know what you call them, episodes or the other
iterations or whatever.
Yeah, the other sessions that we've been running. So
well, this week we had a twist, so that might be that might be part of it.
That's true.
Okay, hell yeah, I want to hear all about it.
Yeah, go ahead, guys. I've done this before.
Okay. Well, this week we consulted with our contacts in the 4 directions, and they helped us pick the appropriate gift for the other person. Does that sound about right, Josh?
That was my understanding, yes.
Great. Yeah. So that's what we did, and I had both interesting experiences in them providing the gift rather than picking it out for myself, and also in receiving the gift, I had something brand new happen to me that was pretty exciting.
Very cool. And I just want to say, just to clarify for people listening, the contacts in the 4 directions is from the meditation you wrote, correct, Shane?
Yeah.
Awesome. Just wanted to make sure that we were talking about the same thing. Okay, very cool.
Cool. So should I start by saying what I found from Josh?
Yeah, please. I'm curious.
Great. Okay. So what I found was, it was a white box with an origami swan on top. And let me start by saying that when I got to the mushroom, I went to the altar in the tavern, and there was a key waiting on the altar for me. And a lot of times when I go, there's something that I'm supposed to, it's an item that I need to take action on is waiting there for me. And this time it was a key. So I put it on a necklace, and I brought it up, and I had a feeling it would have something to do with the gift. So the gift was in a white box with an origami swan on top of it. And somehow in bringing the box into my own little chamber to check it out, the swan just kind of disappeared. But I used the key to open the box, and inside of it were a bunch of marbles that I knew had like memories or experiences in them. And I kind of thought of the second Never-Ending Story movie. So I picked up one of them, and it kind of like absorbed into me or something. And then I wasn't in the mushroom anymore. I was in like a field, and it felt like maybe a rice field, and I was doing like planting of some kind. in a like a steps sort of thing, like I was having some other experience. It was pretty interesting.
Wow. Okay. Very cool.
And for my part, I encountered what I took to be Shane's gift in the hallway outside my cubicle in the shroom. And the best impression I could get of it was it was a penguin. It was penguin shaped, but it was either a taxidermied or a stuffed penguin. I couldn't get a very good resolution on it, and it was like waist high, so it was a good size Gwyn.
Okay. I love it. So you guys have been doing a little bit of something different than I think the groups that I've been a part of, where you actually have specified where you're going to be leaving the objects for each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been leaving them outside our, like, the person's study area in the temple, like right at the door.
Okay, hell yeah.
Did we find a correspondence between people's the element of their sun sign and the location of their cubicle in the shroom?
Yeah, I think Josh noticed that that we all kind
For
of.
some people.
Okay, well that's fascinating. So you notice like people where they sort of have their room oriented, in 360 degrees around the dome of the mushroom. You've found a correlation with where their sun sign would be located, like on the zodiac wheel or circle or whatever it's called.
No, it was more of an elemental direction sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm a very strong water sign, and ever since I started using this room, I've always assumed that my room was on the west side of it, and then Shane's apparently a
Capricorn, yeah.
earth sign. He was imagining his room on the north side.
Okay.
It doesn't work with me, though. I'm an outlier.
Are you an earth sign too? Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm over in the southeast.
Well, can't be perfect.
No.
Yeah, interesting. I'm on the cusp of air and water, and I imagine mine in the east. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, it was a fun idea.
I don't know. It's interesting. Interesting stuff. I don't know. It's it's fun.
Well, I mean, there may still be correlations there. Don't throw it all out,
Oh, no.
Oh yeah. I mean, astrology is very complicated anyway, too.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. Well, I'm curious to hear what these synchronicities are.
Yes, and I want to just say, pay a close attention to what you just talked about in these synchronicities.
Huh.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Did you want me to go first?
Go for it, Shane.
So I went around to each of the directions, and I didn't really hear anything at first. South and north didn't have anything to offer up, but in the west, I got a treasure chest, like a pirate treasure chest made out of wood. And then I continued back around and went to the east for a second time. And my contact in the east gave me a scroll that was just for Josh. And when Josh encountered the scroll, there would be some information in it that was only for him. So the scroll went inside the treasure chest.
All right. You have to go and look for that scroll now.
I feel sorry for the penguin now.
Well, okay.
Penguin is the message. And for my part, I did my elemental petitioning in my private astral space. That's where I'm used to working, and went around in I was going clockwise, starting in the north, and nothing really called to me until I got back around to the north side again, and I went up there and found a baby mountain, like a bonsai mountain, but it was a volcano with a little snow on top, which is, now that I think about it, straight out of Terry Pratchett. I think it was
Very fun though.
it was Thief of Time, I think. The monk who kept the bonsai mountains. So I left that for Shane in a small ceramic pot.
Right, so I would like to draw your attention to the fact that, Shane, you left him a treasure chest, but you found a box. And Josh, you left a bonsai volcano, and Shane, you were in the east in a rice paddy, right?
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of kind of like, some east influences there, but also then, Josh, you left him a volcano with snow on the top, and you found a penguin.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's like all these kind of elemental weavings through what you left each other and what you found.
Yeah, and that seems like every round we do this, there's like a very, I would say, tangential
Yeah.
synchronicity, and I guess I don't know. Maybe we just change our focus. Like we're focusing on these objects that we're leaving for each other, and maybe it's something less tangible that we're actually leaving behind and finding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the origami swan too. That's also from the east.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both had a bird theme in our find.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and birds are from the east also with the air.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
We could probably dig into this all day.
Just reassociate.
Well, I'm setting up the murder board as we speak. More string.
Excellent.
Now Josh just needs to pet the penguin and he'll have some esoteric revelation, and that'll be that.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, I appreciate y'all being willing to join me tonight. Does anybody have any thing that they'd like to say about the experiment or the Green Mushroom Project, or advice about astral travel, or anything that they'd like to state?
It's fun.
Yeah, we've been having fun, that's for sure.
Hell yeah. Well, fun things are worth doing, typically.
Well, it's also nice because it's group work, right? So we get to interact with each other. And maybe we wouldn't have had that opportunity. So there's always the social component, which is nice.
Yeah, that's true. And I'd like to point out that it's, I think the other people in the group feel the same way, is the things that we're finding and leaving are so experientially valid. And it's not like grabbing at a straw for, just reaching out and making something up. It's like half the time I have an idea of, okay, well, I'm going to try to leave Joy what she expects to find. But the minute I get to the mushrooms, something just pops in my head. And in the case of the little crystal ball, it was something off my bookshelf. So how could she possibly want to find that when it's something on my bookshelf? But it's so, I don't know, like pressing and clear to me what it ought to be, that it's, I don't know. It's interesting how things are kind of lining up, I guess. Makes you wonder where they're coming from.
Yes, that is an interesting thing to contemplate. I have no answers, but
I think that's a good point. Like kind of the solidification of an idea as you go along, to the point where it just feels so clear and solid. It can start off as kind of this nebulous thing, and then all of a sudden, boop, it's clear as day, and not everything is like that, right?
Yeah, I felt like I would probably be trying to struggle to guess what the item was, and I have often tried to dismiss what I first thought it was and think harder about it, but it is whatever appeared in my mind. That's certainly what it is, and I don't even know if I could negotiate with that.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I actually had that happen when I was working in a group with Joy, where she had left me some keys, and I had found some keys, but because I'm always finding keys in this place, I'm like, oh, that's just more keys. And I thought that was interesting too, that you found a key as well. So
Yeah.
I guess keys abound, which definitely tracks, I think, for some of the background behind this thing. So it's cool. Hell yeah. From a sort of pragmatic standpoint, have any of you found anything in particularly helpful practice-wise, to do these meditation sessions? Is there something that you do to help you get into it, like a candle? Is there anything like that y'all have been trying?
For my part, I've been very bare bones. I very seldom use paraphernalia when I'm meditating or projecting. It's usually just me on the mat. So for my part, no. I'm very minimalist about it.
I often use a candle, but this time I was actually I have a chiropractic mat and a hip issue, so I was like face down on my mat and could not light a candle this time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just kind of curious. I know everybody has like a different way of getting into this stuff, so it's always
Oh, a couple of times I did use your music track, and that was pretty cool.
okay. Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Which did the track for the Astral Temple?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool.
It was somewhere. I think it was in the Astral Temple thread that I found it. So
All right, hell yeah.
yeah, so that was cool. Thanks for putting it together.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time, and stoked to hear from y'all again in the future, hopefully.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear how your experiment is going with Miguel and Dave.
Yeah, it's been going pretty good. It's interesting stuff. So yeah, good times. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much, everybody listening. I hope everybody has an excellent day, evening, afternoon, whenever you're hearing this. And take care and stay strong and stay curious.
Resist.
Astral Temple Experiments is part of the Green Mushroom Podcast Network. To hear more great independent productions like the one you just listened to, visit our catalog at tgmpodcastnetwork.com.